We're here with a best of one historic event on MTGArena. Gonna be playing blue-red Kiln Fiend, blue-red spells, however you want to call it. We're gonna use the new card from Ikoria, Sprite Dragon, a 2-mana 1/1 flying haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it, along with such things as Kiln Fiend. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Kiln Fiend gets +3/+0 until end of turn. And Crackling Drake, a 4-mana X4, where X is the number of instants and sorceries in your graveyard. And Gutter Snipe lets you cast an instant or sorcery spell to deal 2 damage to each opponent. So those are the main payoffs for playing your spells. The spells we're going to be playing are things like Opt, Crash Through, Warlord's Fury, 1-mana cards that draw a card when they get played. Some burn, like Shock and Lightning Strike. And some card draw with Light Up the Stage. We also have Dreadhorde Arcanist, which lets us cast these 1-mana spells when it attacks from the graveyard. So the idea of the deck is to get one of these Kiln Fiends or Sprite Dragons out and just play a bunch of spells and overwhelm the opponent quickly. Being that this is the historic event, best of one, we're going to play until we get either 7 wins or 3 losses. Normally we play 5 games, but since there is no ladder for historic at the moment, this is really the only option that we have. So this video could be a lot more games than usual, but that would be okay. This hand seems fine. We get to cast a lot of spells. We would prefer one of the other payoffs instead of Dreadhorde Arcanist, but we will make do. Looks like our opponent mulliganed to 6, but they are on the play. Go ahead and opt right away. We could have held up a mountain to shock whatever their turn 2 play is. It looks like we have a mirror match, so we'll go ahead and kill that before it gets out of hand. I definitely don't want to be the player trying to play the Sprite Dragon game from behind. The opponent getting to cast their spells first means that the idea of me just playing Sprite Dragon last turn just does not seem good to me. A little unfortunate here. We could have done things a little bit differently, I think. Although, even if we had a spell, it would have got shocked there. One of the nice things is... Oh, never mind. I was going to say one of the nice things is that they didn't have anything to draw a card with this Arcanist. But they do. I think here we will just go ahead and kill their threat. And I think that's kind of what we're going to be doing until we draw a threat of our own. Kiln Fiend, we will want to kill that one as well. And we have run them out of resources. They only have 3 cards. Currently no threats on the board. We have both an Arcanist and a Crackling Drake that are ready to go. Alright, they'll get to draw another card. Let's play another Arcanist here. They have 2 cards and they're not drawing cards with it or playing a threat, so I assume it's something like Lightning Strike. Yeah. And I would rather have my Kiln Fiend survive. That was a good read of the situation. I'm happy with that one. When their cards are just things that cycle threats that they want on the battlefield or removal, by having multiple cards in hand, multiple untapped mana, and not doing anything else with it, it was reasonable to assume that they had another Lightning Strike. Now the question here is, what do we want to play? I think we just want to play... We can play Crackling Drake as a 5/4. Or we can play Kiln Fiend. I think I just want to play the Drake. Draw another card. And I will gladly trade off with their Kiln Fiend here. We'll see what spell they copy. On the other hand, they would have to have exactly Lightning Strike number 3. I think they've already cast 2 of them. Yeah. Kill our Drake if we block the Arcanist. And we might regret this. This might have been incorrect. We'll find out. We'll go ahead and poke for 1. Light up the stage. Next turn, our creatures, they gain first strike. This is not the one that gives trample. Kiln Fiend getting trample is usually pretty nice. It is possible that we're just dead, though. If they have multiple things that draw into other multiple things, we could have been in trouble. But here, we might be in pretty good shape. We do not want a mountain. We'll play another Dorat, or Bright Dragon, I suppose. A lot of damage. Here's the crash through. Now the Kiln Fiend gains trample. And we're able to take it down. Excellent. Go ahead and add 1 to the win column. So a tight game. I do like the way we played that for the most part. I think playing the Arcanist over the Kiln Fiend ended up being correct. Expecting them to have a removal spell. I think the block with the Drake was very close on which one we wanted to block. But ultimately, I think that worked out well too. So we'll take the win and move on to round number 2. This event is only best of 1. One of the big differences between best of 1 and best of 3 in historic events is that Nexus of Fate is banned in best of 1, which is pretty nice. I've definitely had enough Nexus of Fates for a lifetime. Or at least playing against them. Maybe I want to cast some at some point. This hand's pretty interesting. We have Kiln Fiends, Gutter Snipes. Lots of spells. This is a Triome, Teamer, and Black. Our opponent 4 colors off the bat. I have a feeling that our Kiln Fiend is not long for this world. But we'll see. That is correct. Now we'll play another Kiln Fiend. And enter tapped. We have a lot of potential damage coming through if it survives. But I don't think this is the turn for that. I think we're going to just cast Light Up the Stage, try to increase our board position. Play a second Kiln Fiend. And next turn we have quite a few spells to play, including giving them trample. This is the trample one, right? Crash through? Yes. hostage taker, but they can't replay it. So we get to just kill their hostage taker and get our Kiln Fiend back. Perhaps we should have done the first strike one there, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and deal 10. And we have 2 different Kiln Fiends to threaten their life total. Plus a Gutter Snipe. Alright. Let's see. 4, 7 plus the Gutter Snipe should be dead. Warlord's Fury, deal 2. Crash through, deal 2. Back for 7. And we're able to take it down. Kiln Fiends are just very explosive. It does not take much to have them deal 7 or 10 damage. As you saw in that game, where they did both. We're up to 2-0. And this hand looks very good. A Sprite Dragon and a Kiln Fiend. I would like to figure out how to remove the monsters alternate art from the Ikoria cards for when I'm doing these videos, because it does make it more difficult to have to name things 2 different things each time. We'll just try to get on the board quickly with the Kiln Fiend. Not the most explosive start for us. That is not a good start for us. Deafening Clarion, definitely what we not want to see. Perhaps I'm supposed to, with the hand of Shock and Lightning Strikes, perhaps I'm supposed to just deal as much damage as possible there. With the Kiln Fiend. Instead of getting the Sprite Dragon into play. Because now I think we're just in a lot of trouble. I don't think it would have mattered too much, but it would have been quite a bit of extra damage. Let's see. Alright, well.
Longer. Stand by and watch.
This is not good.
Stand. I'll protect you. We need to move quickly.
They're at 18. Teferi's at 5. Both of them are. And they can use Karn's Bastion to make them really 6. I mean, I can double Lightning Strike the Teferi Hero of Dominaria. We're 7 damage away from their face. If, like, we eventually pointed everything at them, but I don't think we can do that. However, with us using all of our spells to no real effect other than killing the Teferi, I also don't know how we win otherwise. Like if we take this line. This feels pretty bad. I think we're in a lot of trouble this game. I think we did make a mistake in our sequencing. I think we should have used turn 3 to just Lightning Strike the opponent's face and deal 4 with Kiln Fiend. Missed out on some extra damage there. Then we would have still had the Sprite Dragon. It could have applied more pressure. Instead, we have no real pressure on them, and they are able to just play whatever they want. I think we can wrap this one up. I don't think, like, anyone can really fault us if we said that this one was something we were not going to win at this point.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Out of stage, not really what we're looking for. Like, we can play Gutter Snipe, but they just kill it or bounce it. We can't even use our spells to kill Nicol Bolas because they have Karn's Bastion to proliferate. I think we just wrap this one up. I hope no one faults me too much for that one. But I think that one is just something we are not in a position to win from. And there's no real reason to keep struggling when there's another game to play. I definitely think we made the mistake on turn 3 of playing the Sprite Dragon. I think a burn spell to the face and pumping Kiln Fiend was ideal. Then their removal spell only kills one creature. We could have untapped, played Sprite Dragon, tried to get a little bit more action in. And perhaps that could have helped us out some. I don't think we would have had much of a chance anyways, but we would have definitely had a much better chance. The triple sulfur falls, and I don't like that. It means we don't get on the board till turn 3. We don't even get a turn 1 cycle. And we're on the draw. I don't think this is a keepable hand with 3 tap lands. I like this hand a lot more. At least this hand comes down on turn 2. Has some early interaction if we need to with Shock. Has some card draw. Can draw extra cards with Arcanist if it sticks, thanks to the Fury. Grim Initiate, Historic is a pretty cool format. It has a lot of different deck types. And a lot of them are decks that you remember playing over the last few years. I always do enjoy the more eternal formats. The Arcanist. Next turn, in theory, if we draw a land, we can play Dorat and then play 2 spells. Luckily, opponent has no real attacks. Okay, and that is what happens. Now the question is, what's... Oh. We can actually shock Anax and then attack and shock it again. While also putting counters on the Sprite Dragon. Now this is going to give them 2 satyrs, unfortunately, but I think that's the best course of action that we're going to find. Luckily the satyrs cannot block, so we don't have to worry about that. The opponent will take 4 here. And we have, again, quite a few spells that we get to play. Although opponent does have 5 damage coming back at us. Ooh, and another Anax. Not the best. So we can opt initially. Crackling Drake, is that what we want? I don't believe so. Play a Warlord's Fury. That's 5. Play Light Up the Stage. Gutter Snipe and Arcanist, huh? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Well, we have... We have lethal next turn if we don't die. But we are dead to an Embercleave. They do only have one card left. Oh, are we dead to that? I think that does mean we have to... So they deal 6, so we have to block and axe. And then hope to get a little bit lucky. We can play Gutter Snipe. 7, 8, 9. Okay, I believe we do have the victory here. Gutter Snipe. Fury is 7. Gutter Snipe makes 9. Then we can Sulphur Falls and light up the stage. Take them to 7 and attack with an 8/8. And we're able to take it down. That was very close. Very close. Anax is quite the strong magic card. That game got to showcase the nice little situation that's not readily apparent the first time you pick the deck up, of being able to shock Suppling with 3 or 4 toughness and then attack with the Arcanist, flash it back and shock the same thing to finish it off. That's how we were able to kill the first Anax, which is, you know, very lovely. That definitely helped us win the game, I think. So we're 3-1. The other fun part about this deck is the games are relatively quick while also involving a lot of thought. This hand seems very good. This hand would be great if we were going first, but even going second, it seems quite good. We get to go Kiln Fiend into Sprite Dragon and a spell, including giving it first strike, so the Kiln Fiend should be difficult to block. Ooh, Atlanta War Elves. Enter tapped. Oh, what does this card do? Whenever Ranging Raptors is dealt damage, you may search your library for a basic land card, put on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. That card seems pretty cool. Easy ramp. That's a 5/5. Well then, how do we want to handle that? We just want to play a second Kiln Fiend and then go for a bunch of spells the following turn? We want to play a Gutter Snipe? Yeah, I think we want just a second Kiln Fiend. And we can take some damages this turn. Next turn we have 3 spells at least, which makes both of these 10 power. Oof. Alright. We go to 8. And let's see what we can come up with. We'll opt first. Giving them trample is pretty big. I actually think I haven't done the math yet. 20. Oh, and then shock. We've already given them trample, right? Yes. So shock would be the most damage possible. Shock the face. And attack for 26? You can block 4 of it, so you take 22. And as I've said, Kiln Fiend is pretty explosive. And we go to 4-1. That one was not a game filled with interaction. But there were still interesting decisions on, do we play the Kiln Fiend on turn 3? Do we play the Gutter Snipe? Do we play the Sprite Dragon and a spell? Let's see what we got on the docket for round, what is it, 6? I'm a big fan of this deck. There are quite a lot of historic decks that I was looking at when I decided I wanted to do some of this. This was the deck that I had most of the cards already for. It'll take me some time to figure out which other ones I want to build, but I expect to be doing historic videos like once a week. I think that's a reasonable time frame. This hand seems fine, by the way. We have multiple Kiln Fiends. Can't be bad. I don't even want to opt here, I don't think. I think opt has more value in my hand for future turns. Crash Through is a very nice card for this deck. Giving them trample for 1 mana and drawing a card just really helps on making the Kiln Fiends be able to finish games off that they otherwise would not have been able to. Looks like we're up against elves. Question here is, do we want to trade off a Kiln Fiend for a Fauna Shaman? With Oct being the only spell in our hand. With the opponent only having 3 cards, I think that's fine. And if they choose not to, then like that's fine too. Steel Leaf Champion. That's a 6/5. That's a huge monster, huge creature, huge elf knight. My turn. The one option we have is to opt and try to just find a bunch of spells, including a Crash Through, and just bash in. The other option we have is to play Gutter Snipe and opt, or play Crackling Drake, or play 2 Dreadhorde Arcanists. And in fact, I would like to do that. And we'll just get ourselves set up for a pretty explosive turn next turn. Give ourselves another turn to try to draw another spell. The opponent hasn't put too much pressure on us here. They have a lot of power on the board, but our life total is still 20. They're trying to play a little more defensively, knowing that our deck is explosive. They discard Questing Beast. They're going to search through the library and pick up a creature, and they're going to pick up Ghalta. Ghalta costs 12. Right now it only costs 6, though, thanks to Steel Leaf Champion. Oh no, it's total power. I'm sorry, it's not. I was thinking of the Great Henge, which is just the most power. Well, Ghalta is pretty large. That's an accurate statement. Well, we're not going to be able to survive an attack next turn. So we're just going to take this and hope that we can deal enough damage. We're going to start with an opt. We are looking for Crash Through. Not a Kiln Fiend. Yeah. Gonna light up the stage. Hit 2 lands. That is not good, Chatterino. We can't survive an attack, so we'll hit this opt. We're gonna put full control mode on. See if we draw a spell. We did not, and we are super dead. Yeah, so the Great Henge is the card that costs less to cast, where X is the highest power creature you control. And we just were not able to get this one done. And we swoop them up. So 4-2. That's another game where perhaps different decisions could have led to something, to a different result. The Galta definitely applied more pressure than we thought we were under. I think we even made the comment before they discarded Defana Shaman that, you know, we weren't under the most pressure, so we had some time to, like, kill, and that obviously ended up being inaccurate. This hand does not seem very good. Triple Dreadhorde Arcanist, just really not what we're looking for. This hand seems much better. It has 0 spells. But, what you gonna do, right? I think all 3 of our creatures and all 3 of our lands are better than the Arcanist here. Especially on the draw with no spells in our hand. I think on turn 2 we'll try to play the Sprite Dragon. Oh, Giant Killer. The reason I want to play the Dragon over Kiln Fiend on turn 2 is to ensure that on turn 3 I get to light up the stage. Against a deck that opens up with a Temple of Plenty, I can expect them to have creatures. Ground might be mucked up a little bit more than the air. At least that's the theory. Oh, Field of the Dead. We'll play a second Sprite Dragon here. That way we can ensure that one of them gets through. Slight error here where I should have played the island. Not have to pay 2 life. A little unfortunate, but Fury and Arcanist are 2 pretty solid hits. We might not play the Arcanist, we might play Kiln Fiend and Fury. Do we have an opt-in here? No, just light up the stage. Oh, shatter this guy. I see. Well, how do we want to handle that then? We could just drop 2 Kiln Fiends. At the current time, we have nothing for Arcanist to hit. We could just play Fury and Arcanist. Go ahead and get our 2 cards off of light up the stage. Oh, I think they're about to get Field of the Dead online. We'll be able to kill both the zombies here. The one here. And here we will play both Kiln Fiends. They only have 3 cards left. We have to hope they don't have another Wrath. Yeah, I'm going to just shock this one too. Deal the damage. If they have a second Wrath here, we're pretty much dead. But we have to give ourselves the chance to win. And the best chance to win is applying as much pressure as possible. If we let them just keep making land drops and making 2/2s, then we're just not going to be able to successfully get the job done. Well, what we really want here is Crash Through. Giving the Kiln Fiends Trample. Although here, them getting First Strike will be nice. Unfortunate. Alright. Our opponent decided to double block a Kiln Fiend. Very easy to miss that it had First Strike thanks to Warlord's Fury. Oh, double Field of the Dead. All I'm looking for is a Crash Through, though.
Nothing.
Oh, that's a big Crisis. Now I don't know if a Crash Through on its own will get the job done. Lightning Strike, huh? So a Lightning Strike will make them 4s. Okay. Let's attack them with everything. Hit Warlord's Fury. Oh, I can't play it thanks to Teferi. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was a mistake. We should have Lightning... Well, we can't Lightning Strike the Teferi and then do it because... then, like, the Crisis would have killed us anyway, like, blocked anyways. So I think that's just an unfortunate mistake. You would think by now we would know that Teferi... what Teferi does, but... I honestly don't think it matters in that one. That one was going to be very hard to win. They had double Field of the Dead going. But we went 4-3. So I'm pretty happy with that. Especially for the first time picking up a deck and working through it. First dip into Historic. Let's claim our prize. Got a little bit of gold. Some cards I don't think I've ever seen before in my life. But let's go ahead and pull this back up and look at it. I think overall it was pretty solid. There wasn't anything that I felt was out of place. I think the numbers are pretty fine. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think it's the best deck or anything. I think it will really struggle against the actual good decks like Field of the Dead or Fires, and you know both of those crushed us. But for a lot of the other things, it puts up a good fight. We had one game where we beat Mono Red. We lost to Mono Green. We beat some blue-black control deck. Kiln Fiend is very explosive when it works. Overall, I had fun, and I hope you did too. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.